No one will ever dare to hurt you again, not because cruelty disappears and not because the world suddenly becomes just. It won't. People will always test you, exploit you, drain you, if you let them. But here is the shift. You will no longer be prey. You will no longer hand them the knife they cut you with. From this moment forward, weakness dies, hesitation dies, and begging dies. You will stop seeking pity and stop asking for fairness. Instead, you will master silence, composure, and control. You will walk through life with eyes that pierce through deceit, with a presence that commands more than words ever could. People will sense it, and their instinct for survival will whisper, "Do not cross this one." That is the essence of Machiavelli's detachment: power without apology, strength without sentiment. You are no longer chained by hope for kindness. You are sculpted by the inevitability of conflict. And when conflict comes, you will not bend, you will sharpen. The days of being wounded are over. The era of being untouchable begins now. Comment this phrase below to mark your awakening. I rise, untouchable. Emotional detachment. Emotions are the chains that keep men weak, predictable, and easily manipulated. The moment you let anger erupt, you show your enemy where to strike. The instant you beg for sympathy, you hand them your leash. Understand this. People are not moved by your feelings. They are moved by their own advantage. Machiavelli knew it, and so must you. To walk untouchable, you must strip away the illusions that emotion is strength. Anger. It burns quick and leaves you empty. Sadness. It invites predators who smell weakness. Even love, when uncontrolled, becomes a noose tied around your neck. But detachment, true detachment, is a weapon sharper than any blade. When you learn to see people as they are, not as you wish them to be, you stop being their victim. You become the strategist, not the pawn. When others lash out, you remain silent. When others beg for validation, you withhold yours. Your silence unsettles them more than fury ever could. Your composure bends them without a word. Emotional detachment does not mean you feel nothing. It means you control everything. You feel, but you do not act recklessly. You desire, but you never depend. You care, but you are never enslaved. This is the art of becoming untouchable. The world expects you to react. You will defy expectation. The world expects you to chase. You will let them come to you. Each time you refuse to give them the reaction they crave, you grow colder, sharper, more unassailable. And when they realize they cannot move you, cannot provoke you, cannot shake you, they will fear you. They will step lightly in your presence. Emotional detachment is not cruelty. It is clarity. It is the ability to see every person, every situation, every betrayal for what it truly is. A test of your power. From today, you will stop bleeding emotion into unworthy hands. You will stop giving enemies the map to your soul. Comment this phrase below to seal your transformation. I master silence. I command power. The cold advantage. Power belongs not to the loudest voice or the softest heart, but to the one who remains cold when others break. Most men are ruled by impulse. They scream, they argue, they beg, they lose control. You must be different. The cold advantage is the art of never letting your opponent know where you stand, never allowing them to measure your weakness, never letting them taste your fear. When you walk into a room, let your silence weigh heavier than another man's shouting. When you make a decision, let it come slow, deliberate, and absolute, so that no one dares question it. To be cold is not to be cruel without reason. It is to be precise. It is to use your energy only when it produces gain and to withhold it when it would be wasted. The man who reacts to every insult, every slight, every betrayal, he is drained, distracted, predictable. But the man who withholds, who calculates, who does not rush, he becomes untouchable. You do not rise by matching their chaos. You rise by standing unmoved within it. A cold man cannot be baited. A cold man cannot be manipulated. He chooses his battles, and when he strikes, it is not from emotion, it is from strategy. Your presence should force others to wonder. What is he thinking? What is he planning? What will he do next? Fear thrives in uncertainty, and uncertainty is your ally. This is why Machiavelli said it is safer to be feared than loved. Fear is a stable currency. Love is fragile, emotional, and fickle. Coldness builds fear, not the fear of violence, but the fear of unpredictability. The fear that you will not respond as they expect, that you will not give them the satisfaction they crave, that you will not crumble when they try to corner you. To walk in this world untouchable, you must embrace this cold advantage. Not to live without heart, but to live with a heart that beats for strategy, not for sentiment. Comment this phrase below if you understand. My silence is my weapon. My coldness is my shield. Power in perception. Perception is everything. Men live and die not by what they are, but by what others believe they are. The weak want to be understood. The strong demand to be respected. To be untouchable, you must master the theater of perception. Understand this truth. People do not see the real you. They see the mask you present. If your mask radiates confidence, silence, and authority, they will treat you as if you are built of iron. If your mask leaks doubt, desperation, or approval-seeking, they will treat you as if you are disposable. The Machiavellian mind bends this to its advantage. You must learn to control the narrative of yourself. Appear strong when you are calculating. Appear silent when you are deciding. Appear distant when you are gathering leverage. Never show your hand until the moment you play it, and when you do, strike with such precision that they question if you had planned it months in advance. Perception is not about lying, it is about discipline. It is about removing the urge to explain yourself. Do not justify, do not defend, do not argue. Each word you spill in defense of yourself makes you smaller. Instead, let them wonder. Let your restraint speak louder than excuses. When you do speak, speak rarely and speak with weight. Every sentence should carry finality, as if you are not offering an opinion, but delivering a decree. People fear what they cannot read. They respect what they cannot shake. Your goal is not to be loved or even liked. It is to be acknowledged as unmovable. That acknowledgement grows not from kindness, but from consistency. Show them you cannot be rattled, and they will treat you as a force, not a peer. Power, then, is not just what you hold, it is what they believe you hold. Build an aura so impenetrable that their own doubts work for you. Perception creates distance, and distance creates power. This is why kings sat on thrones above the people, so every gaze was upward, never equal. You too must build your throne, invisible but undeniable. From this day forward, let perception become your weapon. Carry yourself as untouchable, and the world will conspire to believe it. Comment this phrase below if you claim it. I am seen as power itself. The ruthless boundaries. Power is not built only on what you pursue, it is built on what you refuse. Every empire collapses not because its walls were too weak, but because it allowed too many enemies inside. Your life is no different. To become untouchable, you must set boundaries so sharp, so ruthless, that no one dares to cross them. Boundaries are not requests, they are declarations. They are not negotiable, not up for debate, not subject to pity. Weak men draw boundaries in sand and then apologize when others step over them. Powerful men carve their boundaries in stone and enforce them without hesitation. Machiavelli taught that mercy shown at the wrong time is cruelty to yourself, and he was right. Every time you let someone trample your limits, you betray yourself. Every time you make excuses for disrespect, you teach the world that you are a doormat. Enough. That ends here. Your boundaries must guard your time, your energy, your loyalty, and your respect. If someone disrespects your time, you cut them off. If they drain your energy, you distance yourself. If they betray your loyalty, they lose access to you forever. No second chances for repeated offenders. Forgiveness may cleanse your heart, but enforcement protects your throne. A man who tolerates disrespect is not noble, he is weak. You must stop romanticizing patience with those who exploit it. Boundaries are not cruelty, they are clarity. They tell the world who you are, what you allow, and what will never be forgiven. They create fear in those who might test you, because they know the penalty will be exile, not negotiation. Understand this: when you first draw ruthless boundaries, people will resist. They will call you cold, arrogant, distant. Let them. That is the sound of chains breaking. Weaklings fear boundaries because boundaries expose their dependence. Manipulators hate boundaries because boundaries strip their power. But the ones who respect you, the ones worthy of standing in your presence, will adapt. They will see your boundaries not as cruelty, but as the law of your empire. And in time, they will admire you for it. Because the man who enforces boundaries without apology is the man no one dares to test. Your strength does not come from pleasing everyone. It comes from being willing to lose anyone who does not honor you. That willingness makes you dangerous. That willingness makes you free. No one owns you. No one controls you. No one bleeds you dry without consequence. From this day forward, you draw the line, you enforce it, and you never step back. Boundaries are your fortress. Boundaries are your kingdom. Guard them with fire. Comment this phrase below to mark your dominion. My boundaries are law. My throne is untouchable. Weaponizing silence. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is not weakness. Silence is the most underestimated weapon in human psychology. It is the blade hidden beneath the cloak, the shadow that unsettles without striking, the storm that builds without sound. Most men cannot endure silence. It eats at them, forces their insecurities to scream inside their own heads. They rush to fill it with noise, excuses, explanations, validation-seeking words. That is their downfall. But you, if you learn to weaponize silence, you will control rooms without speaking, break enemies without lifting a finger, and bend reality without shouting a single word. Silence is pressure. Silence is power. Silence is the invisible hand that forces others to reveal themselves. Think of this. When you argue, you reveal emotion. When you explain, you reveal weakness. When you defend, you reveal doubt. But when you remain silent, you reveal nothing. And in that nothingness, their imagination does the work for you. They begin to wonder what you are thinking, what you are planning, what you might do next. Fear thrives in uncertainty, and silence creates uncertainty better than anything else. The Machiavellian mind knows this. People will project their fears into your silence. They will interpret it as power, as confidence, as danger. Even if you are simply watching, you become untouchable, not by overpowering every conversation, but by speaking so rarely and so decisively that your words cut like steel when they finally arrive. Weaponizing silence is not just about shutting your mouth, it is about controlling the rhythm of human interaction. Most people cannot endure pauses. They stumble, they ramble, they confess more than they should. If you can sit calmly in silence while others squirm, you own them. They will fill the void with truths they should have kept hidden. They will reveal intentions they meant to disguise. They will chase your approval because they mistake your silence for judgment. This is why interrogators use silence more than threats. This is why kings sat silently while subjects begged. It is not what you say. It is the weight of what you withhold. Even in conflict, silence is your sword. When insulted, remain silent. When provoked, remain silent. Nothing unsettles an attacker more than striking and receiving nothing in return. Your silence tells them you are unshaken, and in that moment, their confidence breaks. You show them that they cannot touch you, that their words are as empty as their power. And when you do choose to respond, let it be brief, sharp, and absolute. So they realize your words are not casual, but calculated. Silence also shields you from exposure. Words are liabilities. They reveal strategy, betray intentions, give enemies ammunition. The less you speak, the less they can use against you. The less they know, the more they fear. Mystery is power, and silence builds mystery brick by brick until you become a fortress no one can see inside. This is why the wise man speaks less than he knows, and the fool speaks more than he should. Do not be the fool. Weaponizing silence extends even to presence. When you enter a room, speak little. Let your body language, your eyes, your stillness speak for you. People remember not what you say, but how they felt in your presence. If your silence carries weight, they will remember it as dominance. They will replay it in their minds, trying to decode you, and in doing so, they give you power long after you have left. That is the cold advantage of silence. It lingers. Noise dies quickly. Silence haunts. But understand, silence is not passive. It is not about retreat or cowardice. It is an active, deliberate choice. It is the art of saying, I do not need to convince you. I do not need to argue with you. I do not need to prove myself to you. I am beyond your reach. This is the essence of untouchable psychology. The less you reveal, the more they respect, the more they fear, the more they bend. From today forward, treat silence as your weapon. Do not waste words on the unworthy. Do not waste explanations on the blind. Do not waste arguments on the deaf. Keep your silence, sharpen it, and unleash it only when it will cut the deepest. The man who commands silence commands the battlefield without firing a shot. The man who wields silence becomes the ghost that others cannot grasp, the enigma they cannot solve, the presence they cannot escape. That is what makes you untouchable. Comment this phrase below if you understand the weapon you now hold. My silence is louder than any roar. The calculated strike. Power is not in constant motion. Power is not in striking wildly, nor in proving yourself at every opportunity. Power lives in restraint. Power is patience sharpened into a weapon. The lion does not chase every rabbit. He waits. He studies, and when he moves, he takes down the prey that feeds him for days. This is the essence of the calculated strike. To be untouchable, you must master not only the art of silence, but the art of timing, knowing when to move, when to wait, and when to unleash yourself with devastating precision. Most men waste their strength on noise. They fight battles that do not matter. They respond to insults that should be beneath them. They burn energy proving themselves to people who hold no value. And when a true opportunity arises, they are too exhausted to seize it. You cannot afford that weakness. You must train yourself to see every encounter as a chessboard. Every word, every gesture, every silence is a move. Sometimes the most powerful move is to do nothing, to let your opponent expose themselves, to let their arrogance dig their grave. Patience is not weakness, it is the slow tightening of the noose around their necks. The calculated strike begins with observation. Learn to watch without reacting. Study patterns, study weaknesses. Watch how people speak when they hesitate, where they are vulnerable. Most men reveal themselves in their impatience. They brag, they complain, they overshare. All of it is ammunition for you if you remain quiet enough to collect it. A Machiavellian mind thrives in this, knowing more than it reveals, holding more than it shows. You are not merely living, you are gathering intelligence for the moment you will use it. Then comes timing. Every great strategist knows that the strongest weapon fails if it is unleashed too soon. Striking too early reveals your hand. Striking too late costs you the advantage. The untouchable man waits for the moment of maximum impact. He does not strike when he is provoked. He strikes when the opponent is weakest, most unprepared, most vulnerable. That is why your patience must be iron. Let others burn themselves out in fury. You will be still. Let them show all their weapons. You will conceal yours. And when they are exposed, tired and careless, you move. Swift, sharp, undeniable. Your strike must always be decisive. Half measures weaken you. If you cut, cut deep. If you speak, speak in final terms. If you take action, make it irreversible. Let your enemy know there is no return, no compromise, no negotiation. This is how fear is cemented. By leaving no doubt that your strike ends the conflict instantly, people will learn that to cross you is to risk annihilation, not debate. They will think twice before testing you again. But remember, the calculated strike is not only for enemies, it is also for opportunity. Life will hand you chances, moments to step forward, moments to claim something others hesitate to touch. Most men miss these moments because they are distracted or unsure. Not you. You will watch, you will wait, and when the opening appears, you will move with the same precision you use in conflict. The job, the deal, the relationship, the conquest. When the door cracks open, you will not hesitate. You will strike and take it fully, because hesitation is death. The difference between the powerful and the powerless is not luck. It is readiness. To live by the calculated strike is to live above the noise. It is to never be baited, never be provoked into weakness, never be distracted from your empire. You conserve your energy, you hold your silence, and when you move, the earth feels it. People will begin to whisper about you, not because you speak the most, but because you act with terrifying precision. They will say, "He does not move often, but when he does, it changes everything." That reputation is priceless. That aura makes you untouchable. Most will never master this, because most are slaves to impulse. They confuse movement with progress, noise with strength, chaos with dominance. But you will not be most men. You will not waste your blade on unworthy targets. You will not reveal your power until it is too late for them to defend. You will not live scattered, but focused. The world will not know what you are planning until they feel the strike, and by then, they will be broken. From this day forward, let restraint be your armor and precision your sword. You do not chase, you wait. You do not swing wildly, you aim. You do not strike often, you strike decisively. This is how you become the storm they never saw coming. This is how you make yourself feared, respected, untouchable. Comment this phrase below to declare your discipline. I strike with precision. I conquer with patience. Mastery of influence. Influence is the crown jewel of power. Physical strength can be broken. Wealth can be stolen. Position can be stripped away. But influence, the ability to shape the thoughts, behaviors, and choices of others, endures far beyond muscle, money, or status. Influence is invisible, yet undeniable. It is the current beneath the surface that steers the ship without anyone seeing the hand that moves the tide. To become untouchable, you must master influence, not through begging, not through pleading, not through manipulation that is sloppy and obvious, but through precision, control, and psychological dominance. Understand this first. People are predictable. They want safety. They want approval. They want meaning. They want to be led. Most of them do not think for themselves. They simply follow the strongest presence in the room. This is your opening. Influence begins with presence, the aura you cultivate by embodying confidence, silence, and authority. If your presence radiates certainty while others stumble in doubt, they will lean toward you. If your tone is calm while others panic, they will look to you for stability. Influence is not about forcing people, it is about positioning yourself as the one they instinctively trust or fear when chaos erupts. Machiavelli understood that to rule, one must shape perception. Influence is perception weaponized. To master it, you must first learn to control how others see you. Never overshare. Never let your private weakness become public knowledge. Keep parts of yourself concealed so others project their own assumptions. Mystery amplifies influence because people respect and fear what they cannot fully read. Next, master communication, not through endless chatter, but through sharp, decisive words delivered rarely, as if each syllable carries law. When you speak, they must feel that ignoring your words carries consequences. Then comes the subtler art, guiding people without them realizing it. The easiest way to lead a person is not to command them outright, but to plant seeds in their mind. Suggest hint. Create choices where every option benefits you. People feel freer when they believe the choice was theirs, yet they move along the path you designed. That is high-level influence, making them think they are acting for themselves when in reality they are enacting your will. You must also master the psychology of reciprocity. People are wired to return what they are given. A small gesture at the right time, respect, acknowledgement, even a carefully measured kindness, can create a debt in another person's mind. They will feel compelled to repay it, often with loyalty, access, or obedience. But here is the key. Do not give freely to everyone. Do not scatter your favors like coins on the street. Give strategically, selectively, to those whose repayment will serve your empire. Influence is not charity, it is investment. There is another layer, scarcity. The less available you are, the more they crave your attention. The less you speak, the more they listen when you finally open your mouth. The less you give, the more valuable each gesture becomes. People are addicted to rarity, and you must make yourself rare. Do not always answer. Do not always show up. Do not always reveal what you think. Let them chase. Let them hunger. Your absence should have weight. Your silence should create tension. Your approval should feel like a prize. This makes your influence 10 times stronger, because what is scarce is worshipped. Finally, understand loyalty. Most men seek loyalty through love. This is fragile. Love fades, emotions shift, and affection can turn to betrayal in an instant. Machiavelli was right. It is safer to be feared than loved. But the ultimate power is to be both, respected enough to be feared, valuable enough to be kept close. You do this by combining consistency with unpredictability. Be consistent in enforcing your boundaries, your discipline, and your aura of strength. But remain unpredictable in your actions so no one can grow complacent. They will remain loyal not because they adore you, but because betraying you feels too dangerous and staying with you feels too rewarding. That is influence perfected. To master influence is to rise above brute force. You no longer need to shout, beg, or demand. Others bend because they want to, because they fear not doing so, because they cannot imagine another path. Influence is the art of ruling without a crown, commanding without chains, leading without asking. Once you control perception, presence, scarcity, reciprocity, and loyalty, you control everything. And those who once thought they could harm you will realize they no longer hold power over you. You will be untouchable because they will protect your throne for you, fearing the cost of defiance and craving the rewards of allegiance. Comment this phrase below if you claim the crown of subtle domination. I do not chase power. I am power. The fortress mind. The greatest stronghold you will ever command is not made of stone, iron, or walls. It is the fortress of your own mind. Men build castles, governments raise armies, kings construct citadels, but all of them can be burned, invaded, or conquered. The only fortress that truly makes you untouchable is the one no enemy can see and no weapon can penetrate, your inner citadel of thought, discipline, and will. If your mind collapses, your empire collapses with it. But if your mind remains fortified, you can lose everything and still rise again. That is the secret most men never understand. They waste their lives building defenses outside, while inside they are brittle, chaotic, and weak. You must reverse this. You must become the man whose mind is impenetrable, whose thoughts are weapons, whose emotions are chains locked under his control. That is the fortress mind, and it is what separates the prey from the predator, the ruled from the ruler, the forgotten from the untouchable. Begin here. Control of thought. Most men are prisoners of their own thinking, enslaved by fear, doubt, guilt, and distraction. They cannot sit in silence without being attacked by their own inner voices. They drown in anxiety, replaying mistakes, imagining failures, craving approval. And because they do not control their thoughts, their enemies do. Every insult pierces them. Every rejection unravels them. Every obstacle breaks them. They are conquered without a sword ever being raised. To forge the fortress mind, you must build walls around your thoughts. No thought enters without permission. No distraction lingers without purpose. When weakness whispers inside your head, you silence it. When fear rises, you confront it, cut it open, expose it until it loses its power. Your mind must become a disciplined army. Every thought a soldier with a task, every idea a weapon pointed toward your goal. Anything else is exiled. Anything else is destroyed. Next, control of emotion. Emotions are the siege weapons enemies use to breach your fortress. Anger, fear, despair, love twisted into weakness. These are the battering rams against your gates. Most men fall because they cannot master their emotional storms. They explode in rage and reveal their weakness. They drown in sadness and invite predators to exploit them. They cling to toxic attachments and call it loyalty. The fortress mind is not emotionless, but it is unbreakable. You will still feel anger, but it will not control you. You will still feel pain, but it will not paralyze you. You will still feel desire, but it will not enslave you. You will hold the reins so tightly that no emotion dares to drive you into destruction. Imagine a storm raging outside the walls, lightning striking, winds screaming, and inside, silence, order, firelight steady. That is the fortress mind, the ability to endure chaos without bending to it. Then, control of focus. Focus is the guard tower of the fortress. Without it, enemies creep inside unnoticed. Most men scatter their attention until they are drained, distracted, and defenseless. They consume endless noise, chase worthless pleasures, and wonder why their lives are empty. You cannot afford such weakness. Focus is your shield, and you must wield it like a weapon. Choose your goals with precision, and then cut away everything that does not serve them. Guard your time like a king guards his crown. Guard your energy like a general guards his army. Guard your attention like a priest guards his temple. To master focus is to master time itself, because every moment wasted is a brick stolen from your fortress walls. Your focus must be ruthless, unyielding, and disciplined. No one enters the citadel of your attention unless they bring value. No task survives unless it builds your empire. Another pillar, control of identity. The fortress mind is not only protection, it is projection. The image you hold of yourself becomes the foundation of your power. If you see yourself as weak, unworthy, fragile, the world will reflect that. If you see yourself as untouchable, disciplined, unyielding, the world will bend to that. Identity is the throne inside your fortress, and you must sit on it like a ruler. Never let others define you. Never let insults shape you. Never let betrayal rewrite your worth. You decide who you are. You enforce it daily. And when the world tests you, you stand unmoved, because your identity is carved into stone. You are not simply a man. You are a fortress, a weapon, an empire of one. But understand this, the fortress mind does not build itself. It requires daily construction, daily discipline, daily sacrifice. Weakness will try to infiltrate. Laziness will creep like vines up your walls. Doubt will whisper through the cracks. You must be vigilant. Every day you reinforce your walls through action, waking early, training your body, sharpening your mind, enforcing your boundaries, practicing silence, studying strategy. Every day you cut away what weakens you, excuses, distractions, toxic attachments, wasted energy. Every day you remind yourself that the world cannot conquer you if your mind remains untouchable. This is not a weekend project. It is a lifetime war, and you must be ruthless in your defense. The reward, freedom. The fortress mind frees you from fear, because no insult can pierce you, no betrayal can shatter you, no failure can end you. You remain calm when others panic. You remain sharp when others collapse. You remain unyielding when others beg for mercy. People will notice. They will feel it. They will realize you are not like other men. While they are conquered by life's storms, you walk through fire unburned. And that reputation, that aura of impenetrability, becomes your shield in the world. Enemies hesitate before crossing you. Allies trust you with their loyalty. Opportunities open to you because power always flows to the man who cannot be broken. This is the fortress mind, the citadel no army can take, the throne no usurper can claim, the empire no enemy can burn. Build it, guard it, reinforce it until you become the man no one dares to wound. And remember this final truth: your body will age, your possessions may fade, your titles may be stolen. But if your mind is a fortress, you will always rise again. They can strip you bare, but they cannot defeat you. Because the untouchable man does not live in castles or crowns. He lives in the unbreakable fortress of his own will. Comment this phrase below to declare your citadel complete. My mind is my fortress, impenetrable, eternal, untouchable. The untouchable legacy. Legacy is not what you say. It is what remains after you are gone. Weak men leave behind excuses, regrets, and broken promises. Strong men leave behind fear, respect, and the echo of their discipline. The untouchable man knows that life is short, and he refuses to waste it begging for approval or drowning in sentiment. He builds himself into a fortress, strikes with precision, and leaves behind a presence so heavy that even in absence, his name commands silence. This is your mission now, not to be liked, but to be remembered, not to be soft, but to be unshakable. Every decision you make, every boundary you enforce, every silence you wield builds that legacy. Do not let your days vanish into noise. Carve them into stone with action, control, and focus. You are no longer a man swayed by weakness. You are the storm they cannot tame, the fortress they cannot breach, the shadow they cannot escape. From this moment, you are untouchable, and your legacy will be carved in the fear and respect of those who once thought they could bend you. Comment this phrase below to mark your rise. I am remembered as power eternal. And if this message has awakened something inside you, like subscribe and turn on notifications so that the world never forgets the rhythm of power you now carry.